Okay, well, I will start our discussion, our live seminar, and hopefully we'll have some folks who can attend. If not, the recording is always there, so just be aware of that. We are in lesson number 16. I can't believe we've already done 16 of these lessons. It's gone by quick, but it's been good. It's been good learning, and every time I write one of these, I'm excited that we're helping and progressing and making things better. I think Dan is here, so we'll let Dan get the audio, and we can wait for him before we get moving. I know sometimes it's an issue getting the connection to work for us, but that's part of the deal. So, hey, Dan, how are you? Dan, can you hear me okay? All right, Dan, whenever you can get my audio, let me know. You should be able to hear me because I'm speaking and I can see myself speaking. So, okay, so we are talking about estimate activity resources. This comes from the knowledge area of time management. So time management is the knowledge area. Estimate activity resources is the process. Remember, there are 47 processes. Okay, 47 processes. This is one of the 47. So we've already talked about 16 of them, 1-6. Making some progress, and remember, those of you who are sort of on the fence regarding the exam, it's going to go to 49 processes starting next year. So the best time to take the exam, this year, right? So as always, remember you get a PDU, a professional development unit, for attending the session live or recording. So for those of you who can't make it all the time, or any time, you can always listen to the recording, and it's helpful to go back and review that. So if you're planning to get your PMP, I think that's kind of where most of us are, right? Trying to get our PMP. You need 35 educational units, 35 educational units. So you're going to get one from here. And all of these sessions are recorded, so you've got others you can go and listen whenever you're available or whenever it's right for you. So if you already have a PMP, some of us do, some people do, so you can always go back and listen to these, and you get one PDU for listening to the unit. So we're going back to the recording. So we talk about the quick welcome. It's a short session, so I don't keep you guys long. We try to go through and learn what we got to learn, and then move from there. So the topic, it focuses on things that are related to the PMP exam. In other words, I don't waste your time. You know, I know you guys are busy, and I know when I was studying for the exam, I kind of wanted the quick hit. You know, what is it that I have to know, and that was most helpful to me. So we want to talk about the key terms. And I added an extra term this week because there's another term that I felt was important. And so I put it on there. And we have Q&A and then confirming the next meeting. So, all right. So the lesson is a process called Estimate Activity Resources. This is one of the 47. The definition. So you should know the definitions to the processes. I know there are 47 of them. Okay, I get it. But you should know them. You can put those on a note card or something of the sort to help you remember. Estimate activity resources is the process of estimating the types and quantities of material, human resources, equipment, or supplies to perform an activity. Okay, so remember, resources includes more than just people. You see that human resources is one of the components. It's not the only one. It's one of the components. So why do we do this? The key benefit of this process is that it identifies the type, quantity, and characteristics. Don't forget the characteristics now. Characteristics of resources required to complete an activity, which allows for more accurate cost and duration estimating. So we go and identify the resource. We say, hey, this is a skilled programmer. Well, skilled programmer tells us that this person can probably do the work right the first time. However, the cost is usually going to go up because anybody who's good at what they do is going to charge more. So again, you've got the definition and the key benefits to estimate activity resources. And you should know these now. So I don't mean by memorization. I just know that be aware of what these definitions and key benefits are. All right, continuing. So as I noted, I have an extra term for you. One, let's start with, usually I have three, now I have four in this case. Resource calendar. This is very important now. A resource calendar, remember resources, people, equipment. Also, you could go as far as saying technology, capital, anything that is used for the project. A resource calendar is a calendar that identifies the working days and shifts on which each specific resource is available. So really a resource calendar is your calendar. So I might say I'm only available for 10 hours a week, and those 10 hours have to be on Thursday and Friday. That's my resource calendar. Okay, it's very important stuff now. Resource calendar is going to come up. Now you know what it is. Alternatives analysis. This includes using various levels of resource capability of skills, different size or types of machines, different tools like a hand versus automated, and make, rent, or buy decisions regarding the resource. So, for example, we may not be able to find a key resource for the project, so what we do is we hire a contractor. That's an alternatives analysis. We don't have somebody within-house to do work, so we go to a contractor to do that work. That's alternatives analysis. Now, it sounds confusing, but it's not that confusing. So instead of using machine A, you use machine B. Maybe it's because it's available. Maybe it's because it's cheaper. It doesn't matter why. It's an alternative. All right, so be aware now. Now, activity resource requirement identifies the types and quantity of resources required for each activity in a work package. Just real quickly, so we don't get lost here. A work package comes from the WBS now. All right, WBS. Here's a similar, this is a hierarchy, which we call a WBS, the work breakdown structure. Okay, so we break down that WBS to the lowest common denominator, which we call the work package. So just be aware of what we're talking about here. We're actually talking about the WBS. Going back to the point, this is identify the types and quantities of resources required for each activity. So we want to know this activity, which is select bids or get bids or build the or design the mock-up, whatever it is, the activity, we need to have a resource for that. This is a work package, the lowest common denominator on a WBS. All right. Finally, the RBS, resource breakdown structure. This is a hierarchical representation of resources by category types, such as labor, materials, equipment, and supplies. Same thing. We break down the RBS, resource breakdown structure, and we break it down by category. So again, the examples here are labor, material, equipment, and I guess I could add one more, supplies. And then for labor, you would just include all the labor items. Same thing with materials, same thing with equipment, and so on. This is an RBS, a resource breakdown structure. Let's go back so I don't forget now. A resource is, where I had it, resources. Here they are. So we're going to talk about different types of resources. They include, for example, any, see where is it? Right here. Any material, human resources, equipment, or supplies. Right there. Then you have that knowledge. So when you go here, you say the RBS could be any one of those. Okay, so equipment, material, supplies, and human resources. Okay? Sounds kind of hard, but it's not too hard. Let me magnify this a little bit. All right, I wrote a question for you. The project team is managing a complex IT-related project. A key issue is estimating the number of hours assigned to a programmer who has specialized knowledge. This resource is stationed in another country and can perform most of the work from the current location. All right, so now when calculating the work effort from this resource, which of the following provides the most accurate estimating technique? All right, so what do you think? Which of these four would you eliminate? Which one is not the answer? Okay. What do you think is not the answer? Okay, so I'll help you. Okay. So, which of the following provides the most accurate estimating technique? Well, I will tell you that global estimating process does not exist. Now, I did tell you it was in another country, but that doesn't exist. So that's gone. Analogous estimating is not a bad answer, but the problem is that this is not very precise. Analogous estimating is, well, the last 5 similar projects took XYZ, but that doesn't make it very accurate. And we're looking for accurate. So now you're looking at top-down estimating and bottom-up. Well, top-down is a general answer. Just like, well, I think it's going to be about $20,000, or I think it's 10 hours. Very generic. Bottom-up estimating comes from the WBS, the work breakdown structure, and is the most precise. Okay, see how I kind of worked backwards a little bit and got the answer? That is correct, bottom up. Any questions on that? Okay, I'm assuming that's no. Continuing. This question too, when I wrote it, I thought it would be easier, but then I realized it was harder. Harder than I thought. All right, so let me read it to you. During the planning stage, the project manager created the resource breakdown structure, the RBS. The resources were categorized based on labor, material, equipment, supplies, and technology. So a team member asked the project manager the key benefit of the RBS. Hey, what is the key benefit of the RBS? You know what the RBS is. It's a resource breakdown structure. The project manager's best response is the following. A, the RBS is mandatory and must be created for all projects. Okay. B, the RBS is useful for organizing and reporting project schedule data that contains resource utilization information. C, the RBS is essential to confirm the resources required for the project. And then D, the RBS is mandatory for some projects, but essential for others because it ensures the right resources are assigned to do the right work at the right time. Now, this is kind of dicey now. After I wrote it, I realized how hard it was because it's wordy, number one. The answers are wordy. I always find that answers that are wordy are hard to me. I kind of like that. 1 word, 2 word, or 3 word answer. All right, so the RBS is mandatory and must be created for all projects. Well, I mean, I think the RBS adds value, but the RBS is not like the WBS. The WBS is a mandatory item. I would say that this one is probably a little bit out there. I would say no. Let me go to C. The RBS is essential to confirm the resources required for the project. Now, this is the one that after I wrote it, I thought, wow, this is a hard one, because you can kind of see where it does make some sense. I mean, we need the RBS so that we can categorize the resources, but not to confirm. This came from the WBS. The WBS gave us more of this kind of context. Wow, that's hard. Okay, that's hard. I can tell you I would be struggling with this question on the exam. So now I'm down to Bravo Delta. The RBS is useful. Okay, all right, get that. And Delta is the RBS is mandatory. By the way, I meant to say RBS if I said WBS. The RBS is mandatory for some projects, but essential for others because it ensures the right resources, whatever. You see, there's a contradiction of terms, number one. Mandatory here, but then essential. This kind of option has to go. It has to go. Because how can it be mandatory for some and then essential for others? You see, it doesn't make any sense. Further, what disqualifies the option is that it ensures the right resources are assigned. No, not necessarily, because that came about earlier on again through the WBS. This dealt with time, with right work. Maybe the resource calendar dealt with that, but this made it wrong. The right work. That came from the WBS. I love this question. It's so hard. It's a real hard question. So B, the RBS is useful for organizing and reporting project schedule data that contains resource utilization information. Resource utilization deals with how much time the resource can participate on the project. Wow. Let me put wow up here. Tough one. Tough one. I didn't know I was going to write a tough one, but it was tough once I looked at it. Because you would have to know test-taking techniques to get rid of some of these options. And the fact that we have scheduled data, the word schedule is a great word for RBS. The problem is the word, let me go and highlight this. Here's my problem. Useful. I don't like that word. I don't like that word at all. I don't like that word. In fact, I hate it. I'm just joking. I don't hate it. I don't like the word because, gosh, useful is like not very concrete, right? But guess what? The word useful is in the PMBOK. That's our problem. Then when they wrote that definition, explanation, they used it in the PMBOK. See, useful to me is, it's iffy. It just happens to be in the PMBOK. Maybe what would have given it away was right here, project schedule data. Maybe. All right, that was the answer. Even though that word was there. Tough one, guys. Tough one. All right, like I said, questions, comments, anything on your exam? Where are you guys calling from today? Dan, where are you? And Zahid, where are you? See if you guys can hear me. Hopefully I wasn't just talking to myself. All right, so maybe you can't hear me, but I do have the session recorded. So this is what we do. We go through and we talk about these topics, get you ready for the PMP, get you ready each week for the PMP, making progress. So if you guys do have questions, make sure you reach out to me. I've got the session recorded, so you can listen to it at your discretion whenever you're available. other than that, I do appreciate y'all attending. I hope to see you in the next session. Now, don't forget to tell other people, get some people out here. We can talk about some good stuff. And I'm working on a meetup session. So meetup here in San Antonio, we'll record it. So I'm working on that. I think that's going to add a lot of value. All right, guys. Thank you for attending, and good night.